Good morning. My name's Barbara. I'm from EMJ Real Estate in Wollongong. Wollongong is a town about an hour south of Sydney on the east coast of Australia. And this morning we're interviewing with Noel from HomeQwik Property in Phoenix. Is that right?
That's right. HomeQwik Property Management.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona.
In Phoenix. So really interested to find out about how they do things over in the States and how they differ from here. I understand Noel and his team are oh God, Liz, can we edit this?
No, but it's okay.
You're one of the more prominent property management agencies over there. So, Noel, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And first of all, how long have you been in the industry and what drew you to it?
Sure. I am our designated broker with our company here in Phoenix, which means I'm in charge of any of the license activity, sales, leasing, making sure we abide by the laws of the local Department of Real Estate here. I've been doing it about 12 years. My stepfather started investing around 2007, 2008, and I came on board. He owned about 25 properties. His partner had over 100. So they started a property management company. I came on as a leasing agent, leased 4 houses my first week, and was off and running. So HomeQwik is now our third company that we've been involved in, and we're fully family owned now. No partners, no business partners, anything like that. We're not huge. We've got about 160 properties. But we are not tied to anyone. So we've been through 2 big companies. We managed 2,000 homes and then 900 on a new company we created. And now we're at about 160 and trying to grow.
Very nice. And so just for like my own knowledge, are you very heavily regulated over there as far as, even just, for example, the paperwork that you've got to fill in for we call them managing agency agreements over here, where a landlord will appoint us as their agent. And it's, we went through some massive legislation changes this year, where originally what might have been a 2 or 3 page document is now a 16-page document. What's that like for you guys over there?
Yeah, so we're governed by the state, the Arizona Department of Real Estate, and we have to have a specific property management agreement to do anything with property management. And that is different than a listing or buyer's agent agreement if we're trying to sell you a house.
Yep.
So it's about a 6-page agreement that we use. It's the Department of Real Estate standard property management agreement. We are governed by them. Fair housing laws are strict here, and we've got to follow the rules, but we're a lot more owner-friendly state than other states like California or Washington, maybe even New York, that really give the tenant a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
The owners still have a lot of power here in Arizona, which is good. And obviously we represent the owners.
Yeah, wonderful. It sounds like you know a lot about what's going on in other states as well to keep your knowledge up there. I mean, that's something that we don't focus on a lot. To be honest, we don't pay attention much to what goes on in other states, but it's good to know that you're fully abreast of all sorts of legislation over there.
Yeah, and I was the president of NARPM for the West Valley of Phoenix last year. It's the National Association of Residential Property Managers. So
wow,
it's a nationwide organization. So I know property managers all across the country.
Yeah.
And I was our local chapter president last year, and I've been on the board for 4 years.
Yeah, wow. My goodness, that's an enormous wealth of knowledge for your landlords.
Yeah, and I know a lot what's going on in other states, and we bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, wonderful. And so if I can just ask you a little bit about the logistics process in advertising and securing tenants and so forth. So over here, obviously we start with signing the paperwork with the owner and then we get going from there. Same for you?
Yeah.
Yep. And so how do you normally advertise for tenants?
Everything's online now. We do use yard signs. So we do get some calls from those, but everything's online. We're using the sites locally here, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Rentals.com. We don't use Craigslist much anymore, but our own website grabs traffic as well. So we push out everything to the internet. I think we're on 12 or 15 websites, but Zillow,
Wow.
Trulia, and Rentals.com are the big ones.
Yeah. Okay. And so what kind of marketing materials do you use as far as what goes on those websites?
Sure. Description of the property, pictures. We also do a walkthrough video,
Nice.
and we're doing drone videos now as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so if I can just rewind to COVID, the COVID situation, what's that like over there at the moment? For example, over here, in March this year, we were not able to run open homes anymore for sales or for rentals. So we do 3D virtual tours, having those really helped us out because tenants could digitally inspect a property and
Sure.
apply. So over here, or in New South Wales at least, tenants aren't allowed to apply for a property unless they have physically inspected the property. COVID allowed us to, during COVID with the 3D virtual tours, that enabled us to have tenants apply for properties having digitally inspected the property.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So how did all that work for you guys?
Yeah, the walkthrough videos that we use help with that. I try to never rent to somebody that's never seen the house, but
Yep.
it's so busy now that people are doing applications blind without actually physically being there.
Yeah,
But
right.
even prior to COVID, we do self-showing. So we have a lockbox on the house. The tenant has to call us, send us a copy of their ID. We verify their phone number and credit card. We don't charge them, but we do give them a one-time use lockbox code so they can view the property on their own. So we were doing that pre-COVID, and it just kind of worked out perfectly when this happened. So we rarely have to go and show the tenant themselves. If we're advertising on our local multiple listing system, then sometimes agents will bring tenants and show them. But same thing, we give the agent a code and they can let themselves in whenever they like.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. And so we'll jump forward to these applications that you're getting. What kind of how do you qualify the tenant? What are you looking for in an application over there?
So the big things are income, residential history, how do they take care of the last house they were at, and obviously their credit and background. We want average to above average credit. Obviously, criminal background stuff, we have to be careful with fair housing, but we can deny people for sex offenses, fraud, violence, and property damage. But we're really
so you can find all that information, can you, on the
sure.
tenant?
Yeah,
wow,
we do a background check. It gives us full criminal history, full credit. And on the credit, if their credit's not great, I want to see, are they paying for their car? Are they paying for their phone? Are they paying utilities? I'm not as worried about school loans, that type of stuff that, people are paying long-term. But if they can't keep their cell phone going or can't pay utilities, it might be a problem. But again, income's really important. Checking out what bills they pay and what they don't. And then obviously finding out how well they took care of the last house they were at.
Yeah. Okay. And so do you send rental references to the current managing agent or the former managing agent?
Yes. Or the previous owner. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And so if you're looking at what, tenants out there in your area, what are they generally looking for?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, price always drives everything, but we do mostly single family homes. I do have some 2-bedroom condos and townhouses, but generally we do mid-range single family homes, anywhere from $1,200 a month up to $2,500 right now.
Yep.
Rents are really high, but most people want, a 3 or 4 bedroom home with a yard, maybe a pool, that kind of stuff. Obviously we get different types of tenants that are looking at our condos and townhouses and apartments.
Yeah. Okay. And so when you've got a new management coming on, what do you do to make sure the house is like rent ready or move in ready?
Yeah, so we do a full walkthrough inspection with video and pictures, and we give the owner our opinion on anything we think needs to be fixed. So if the paint's not looking great, or if it's not clean, or we find a leak under the sink or a ceiling fan not working, obviously we want it to be as clean and nice and move-in ready as possible. Yeah. Some owners can afford to do more than others, but ultimately we want it to be clean with no issues and move-in ready. So we do that initial inspection. If work needs to be done, we have vendors and maintenance people that we can get it done for the owner. And then when the tenant leaves, we do the same inspection on the same software, pictures, video, all of that to see if they cause any damage.
Yeah, cool. What software do you use for
We
that?
use a Z Inspector. So you can use it right on your phone, take pictures, video, make comments, and then your vendors can go right on and give you estimates per line item. So it's really great software.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And so prior to the tenant moving in, what kind of inspections are there? Like, you know, we call them ingoings and vacates.
Sure. So we'll do the initial property inspection. If the house needs any work, obviously we'll get that handled. Then we would do a pre-move-in inspection after any of that stuff was done. So we know exactly what the house looks like before the tenants move in. If I sign up a house that's in perfect shape, we just do the initial inspection and then the move-out inspection when the tenants go. But generally, we're doing that inspection with pictures, video, a day or two before the tenants take possession.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And to secure the property, what kind of, you know, does the tenant have to pay a holding deposit, or is there some kind of security deposit or bond?
Yeah, we take $600 to hold the property. We'll hold it for 10 days.
Is that regardless of the rental price?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So that that's a non-refundable, just, you know, earnest or holding deposit. But to move in, we generally want the full first month's rent and a security deposit, which is equal to 1 month's rent.
Okie dokie. And so how do you find with your tenants, do they, on average in your area, do they pay their rent on time? And
yeah, we've been really lucky. The last few years, you know, we do a real good job on the screening. Obviously with COVID, we're being careful about approving people that have restaurant jobs or airline or hotels, just because they're more risky. But the last few years, we've really had, you know, very minimal issues with non-paying tenants.
Yeah.
The laws are real good here in Arizona. If they can't pay, it takes about 30 days to evict them. And obviously we handle that process for the owner when necessary.
Yeah. Okay. And gee, that's interesting. 30 days. We have to wait for ages. We have to, oh my gosh, it's such a process to evict a tenant here.
Yeah, California could take 6-9 months. It's challenging.
Yeah, crazy. You've got some lucky landlords. And so you mentioned before that you're generally looking at family homes. They work best in your area?
Single family homes is what we is the bulk of our business.
Yeah. Going back to your owners, what is your dream type of an owner? What sort of ones do you think, okay, these people fit with our company values as well?
Sure. Well, we prefer investors because they kind of know going in that there's going to be repairs. They want to be hands off. I want owners that trust us. They hired us for a reason. So I want them to trust us. If we say something needs fixed, let's fix it. If I say, let's adjust the rent, let's adjust it. If there's issues with the tenant, we want them to follow our advice on that. But we do have a lot of what I call reluctant landlords too, people that are, they have a rental property because they combined households or maybe had to move out of state for a few years. So they became a landlord kind of by accident. Those can be a little bit more challenging sometimes because they don't understand that, maintenance is going to need to be done. They live there the whole time, never had a problem with the dishwasher. As soon as the tenant moves in, the dishwasher breaks. So they can be more challenging, but as long as they trust us and let us do what we need to do and understand that we have, their best interest in mind, that's a dream owner that kind of gives us the reins and lets us do what we have to do to make them profitable and keep their tenant happy.
Yeah, wonderful. So I guess how many competitors have you got over there? Competing companies in your area?
Just in Phoenix, 500-600.
Wow.
A lot of people might only manage 2 or 3 homes. We've got corporate industrial investors, companies that have 1,000 properties that they manage.
Yeah.
We're kind of mid-range, somewhere between 100 to 300 homes is kind of mid-range for us. But there's tons of realtors here in Arizona, tons of people trying to do property management. I tell people to look at our reviews because we're actually doing it well. property management is prone to getting complaints, either from tenants or owners. So when you look at somebody's reviews, you can tell who's doing a good job.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, I find over here that,
I lost your sound. Are you still there?
hang on.
There you are. I lost your sound on that last question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep. You seem to be, and you and your company are like what I call career property managers. You're in this because you've in it for a long time. You're passionate about it. What I notice over here is there's a lot of agencies out there that have property managers really it's more of a transient job.
Sure. Yeah,
So
they fall
they're
into
young
it by
people. Correct.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we're lucky as well in our business. All our property managers are career property managers with lots and lots of experience. But, a lot of the competitors out there, they've got young kids that not even, they barely have been in the industry for 5 minutes.
Sure.
They don't even own their own home, let alone have ever had an investment, so they can't understand. Do you find that over there? Like, that's where a benefit for you is, because you guys are, what you're doing, you're there by choice, you've owned properties yourselves.
Sure. And we get a lot of realtors that, they'll sell an investor anything that they want to buy. But the question is, do they know how it's going to perform after they buy it? Do they know what the rents are going to be? Do they know what it needs to get it rent ready? Do they know what tenants are looking for? So yeah, we've got a lot of agents here that, depending on if the market's up or down, might fall into managing a property or two for their clients. And we pay a good referral to those agents to say, hey, we know what we're doing. You sell them the house, we'll manage it. When they're ready to sell, we'll give it back to you.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right, Noel. Well, thank you so much for all that insight. It's wonderful.
Yeah, great talking to you. And I know that we'll be keeping in touch, and I always love to hear what's going on there. And I really appreciate you taking the time today.
You're very welcome. Thanks so much, Noel.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.